People, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. And yeah, I don't even know how to begin reviewing this book, Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaeffer. And I have to say that the book is so unique, it's so different, it's so incredibly weird, and yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, it's so unique, as I said, that I don't even know how to begin to summarize what you are going to find inside this book. And now the door is going to magically open because my dog is going to open it. So yeah, sorry for that. Okay, what are we going to find here? We are going to, at the very beginning of the book, we are going to find this girl who is doing kind of an autopsy. She's removing organs from a body, but from the very beginning she tells us that the body is not human, that it's something called the unnaturals, and then she begins to talk about different species or creatures of fantasy that we know, but with a different twist. I love that the author did with unicorns in this book. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, we have this young girl who's doing this autopsy kind of thing, and it's bottling and bagging different parts of that creature that she is, dividing, and it's going to be sold into the black market. And she's telling you, okay, this is not exactly my fault. It was my mom who killed this creature. And then she begins to kind of justify what she's doing because, she tried to speak up in the past to say to her mother that she didn't want to do these kinds of things. But her mom is kind of ranch, abusive. I don't know how to label the mother. But the thing is that she's doing these things, and it's not that she accepts that this is her role in life, but also enjoys it. So from the very beginning, you know that you are going to have a morally gray character. And I love how you can connect with her, understand where she's coming from, how it came to be that she's in this place. And you also realize that she's not evil or a bad person because her mom brings home a boy, a living subject, and she wants to begin cutting pieces of this boy while he's alive because the blood and the meat and everything has properties, and if they kill the boy and then begin buying him, it's going to lose the properties. Yeah, it's so crazy. I love how wonderfully crazy this book is. And then you realize that Nita, our main character, the young girl, it's not going to go with it. So she frees the boy and ends up herself incarcerated. And she is going to see what the black market really is about from the inside. So she's going to kind of suffer what she has been, or her mom has been inflicting into others. So yeah, it's going to be a very grim book because she's going to have this partner, this girl who's also a prisoner like her, and she's going to be abused, tortured, eaten in front of her. So yeah, it's a very heavy book, but not in a bad way. I don't know how to explain it. It's nothing like you have ever read before. You're going to love it. I love the evolution of our main character from, I'm coming from this morally gray area. I have some morals, I have some lines that I don't want to cross, but when push comes to shove, if I have to survive, if I have to be free, if I have to stop the abuse that's coming to me and to the people I might care about, I'm going to push those limits. I'm going to do whatever needs to be done in order to be free, in order to move forward. And I love how well writing this is, because when you write an anti-hero or a person who's morally gray and goes towards the black, it can be very easy, I think, for the reader to detach from the story and from the character because you lose the perspective or the bonding, whatever it is that makes you relate with the character. But in this book, you understand and you can relate and you can empathize and you can think, okay, I wouldn't do that, but I understand why she does that. And for me, it has been amazing to read this book where, as I say, the character is not the typical goody two shoes story where everything, she does the heroic thing and she prevails and somehow everything works out. I love that she had to do things that she never wanted to do in order to find herself moving forward. And I love how well constructed, as I say, the character comes across and how believable she is, and how, despite the fact that she is leaning towards maybe more black areas than gray, she still cries, she still suffers, she still thinks what I'm doing, and she still questions herself. And you can understand that she's coming from places of being afraid, of hysteria, panic attacks, and you begin to see how everything falls into place for this particular character in this story. I'm not going to say much more about the story of the character because I don't want to make any spoilers, because as I say, this book is very unusual. I love the twist that the author has put into different things. As I say, the vampire figure, the unicorn figure, different supernaturals that we already know about are going to be present in this book, and they are going to be twisted into new forms and new things and new lures. And I have to say that I love it. I love how she came to create all this world, and she does it so well that you believe it's real, and you can see your world having this creature roaming around and these people in the black market trying to profit themselves, and everything, and the movements. And yeah, also this book makes you think about lots of things, about family, about not the typical all perfect family, but dysfunctional families and how those families work. Also how having abusive parents or parents who want to shape a kid a certain way can succeed and create a kid that's, in a certain way. I love how the question of morals, about how far you are willing to go to save yourself, are represented in this book. And I love the final reflection, I'm not going to say anything about it, that you have towards the end of the book about morals and about losing your internal compass and the consequences that it can bring about. I also love that it makes you think about colonization, about people who come to other cities and they have money and they have power and they kind of obliterate what they find in there just, to prevail. The book, it's centered in Latin America. And it makes you think about the conquistadores and things like that, and about how people in power came and eradicate people just so they can have big houses or big things. And yeah, it makes you think a lot about it, and also about the role of slavery and abuse. Sometimes the book doesn't need to really delve into something. There's a part where there is a mention about little kids in brothels, and the way in which it's explained, it resonates with you, makes you think about, about how the imbalance in power, about how some people who have a lot of power, a lot of things, can do things and get away with things that other people can't. And yeah, there's a lot of things. I also love that our main character is a girl and she's capable, and that sometimes she's offered help and she says, I want to do things my own way. And sometimes she recognizes that she needs help. She's not like, I can do it all. She can probably, but it's nice to have someone helping her sometimes. And yeah, I'm completely in, this book wasn't anything like I was expecting. It had me on my toes at every page. I wasn't sure where the story was going to go, what we were going to find, and how far the author will take the characters, and how she destroyed myths in a way, because you have bad characters and you're expecting them to do bad things because they are the bad characters and introduced like that, and you get surprised because you see that sometimes the bad character, the monster figure, can do maybe not good things, but not exactly bad things, and the people who are supposed to be good and the humans who are going to uphold the law and everything are the real monsters. It's sometimes humans are the real monsters. And I love how it makes you think about what makes a person and what makes a monster, and where are the boundaries. Obviously, you have a monster in this book. This is something that I love from the very beginning, and I think, as I say, it's very hard to create and to make the reader relate or understand where the character comes from, because you have characters here who are complete monsters, and they are presented like monsters, and you're reading the book and you are not expecting them to change, because you know that it's their nature and they do the things they do, and they are exactly as they are. They are monsters and they do monstrous things. Yeah, I don't want to go into detail about that. It's like you're not expecting to have a prince come and save the day, and you know where this book is going. I think it's an amazing read because it's very unusual, as I say. It presents morally great black anti-hero characters, and as I said, and I believe it's a very hard thing to do, and have the reader enjoy the story and wanting to know what happens to them and understand where they come from. And maybe, as I said at the beginning, you cannot share some things with those characters because you wouldn't do those things, but it makes sense in this world and in the way in which the characters are constructed, that they react, behave, or do things according to one set of morals that they have or not, or are lacking. And yeah, and as I say, sometimes it makes you think about slavery and abuse of power, conquistadores, lots of things, abusive parents who, deconstruct a kid and modify the kid until it's like what they want it to be. And it makes you think about morality and the choices we have and the consequences it has. And yeah, it's an amazing book. Pick it up. It's the first in a trilogy, and I'm really, really, really interested in knowing what is going to happen in the second one. Only I should remain. Yeah, more when I read it. Thank you for watching. Bye.